Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, we are going to be ranking every single evolution inside of Clash Royale. So guys, we're just going to be ranking them S tier through F tier, and let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments. This is just my opinion. Feel free to let me know how you think below, whether you agree, disagree, maybe where you would rank something else. Starting off here guys, we have the Evo Baby Dragon. I do feel like that the Evo Baby Dragon released this season was kind of crazy. In my opinion, it's a top 3 evolution in the game. Arguably the best evolution. It's really, really broken on top ladder. Just for that reason, I'm going to put the Evo Baby Dragon in the S tier. Now, guys, we have the Evo Skeletons. Evo Skeletons are also quite interesting this season. I feel like they haven't been the greatest since their most recent hit speed nerf, but I also feel like they're always decent, get good value. I'd say C tier. I'd say they're about an average evolution inside of the meta. By the way, the rankings will be based off of the meta and kind of how many decks are in, all that kind of stuff, so maybe it will be a bit different than what you guys think because I play on top ladder. Maybe some of you guys play a little bit lower than that. Next up, we have the Evo Firecracker. I feel like the Evo Firecracker did get a pretty big hit this season with the Vine Spell being really popular. Vine Spell is just a great Firecracker counter, but I will say that in general, if your opponent doesn't have Vines or Arrows, Firecracker gets a lot of value. I'm kind of in between C and B tier, but I do think that the Evo Firecracker is still better than the Evo Skeleton, so I'll put her in the B tier for now. Now, guys, we have the Evo Barbs. Evo Barbs is finally getting some playtime this season, mainly just because of the Vine Spell being really, really popular. Barbs obviously don't get really affected by the Vine Spell at all, so we have been seeing a bit more Barbarians in some beatdown decks, maybe even like a bait deck here and there. I'd say they're about average, just like the Skeletons. They're not too great, but they're not like horrible either. It's definitely a solid evolution, but usually only one of those that you run for a specific purpose. Next up here, we have the Evo Zap. Honestly, I am a huge supporter of the Evo Zap. I love the Evolved Zap. I feel like it's a very fun card and a pretty cool concept as well. Definitely revived the Zap spell from the dead in recent time, but I never ever see Zap spell anymore. Honestly, like, just because of the meta, I would really kind of have to put this in the F tier. I think Evo Zap is up there for one of the worst evolutions right now. It's literally only used in Lava Hound, and even in Lava Hound, it's getting replaced by the Arrows and the Vine Spell. If it was any other meta, I'd probably put it average or maybe a little bit below average, but in this season, it's honestly just unusable. Next up here, guys, we have the Evo Tesla. Evo Tesla is actually pretty good. I feel like maybe it's not the best building, but I do think that it is definitely a very solid one, and I would never be surprised if I saw a Evo Tesla. I feel like it's in like the same tier as Firecracker, maybe a little bit better, so I'm just going to put the Evo Tesla right above the Firecracker. Now, guys, this is going to be a controversial one. Evolved Royal Giant. I like playing with Evo RG. It's a lot of fun. I hate facing it. I don't think anybody really enjoys facing up against the Evo Royal Giant. I do feel like that the ability for the RG is perfect, just knocking back those mini troops, clearing out swarm units a little bit nicely. I think that it's also in that B tier where it's like, it's not average, it's definitely above average, but it's nothing like absolutely insane. I think I'll put it at the top of the B tier. Next up, guys, we have the Evo Knight. Evo Knight's another one of those ones that I feel like have fallen out just because of the meta. Like, you never see it because you kind of need Mighty Miner if you're using a cycle deck. No deck can really fit the Evo Knight in because you just don't have the DPS needed to take cards out like Goblin Machine, Goblin Giant, P.E.K.K.A. Goblin Giant. Also, you don't really get much pressure out of it. Sadly, man, I'm going to have to rank it D tier. Let me know what you think about Evo Knight, man. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it in this current season. Now we have the Evo Wizard. Okay, Evo Wizard is another one of those, man, that got kind of rolled by the Vine Spell. I feel like Vine Spell just kind of renders him a little bit useless right now, just taking him out of commission for a bit too long, not really getting the value out of the Wizard that you need. Just having that cheap freeze on it kind of just lets him get overran and overwhelmed. Just for that, I feel like I have to give him like the same treatment as the Evo Knight. Just any other meta and he'd be higher, but sadly, it's not really that great. Okay, guys, honestly, I forgot about the Evo Drill. Evo Drill is definitely the worst evolution in Clash Royale. It's literally worse than the regular Drill. Like, that has to be just the worst evolution ever, because how is it more worth it to run the regular Drill than the Evo Drill in literally every single situation possible? Like, there's never a deck or, I feel like a scenario where I want the Evo Drill, and you guys can test this out in game yourself. Evo Drill, when ignored, gets less damage than the regular Drill. This thing is just trash, man. Now we have the Evo Mortar. I actually like Evo Mortar. Evo Mortar is pretty fun to use. I think that Evo Mortar actually made a bit of a comeback this season. I didn't think that it would be that great, but because Vine Spell pairs pretty nicely with it, and Vine Spell does bad into Mortar decks in general, I do feel like the Evo Mortar has been pretty strong this season. I think that Evo Mortar is like an A tier evolution, probably like bottom A tier or something like that. But it will be our first evolution in the A tier. Evo Cage, man. Evo Cage makes a run for the most underrated evolution of all time, I think. It's barely been changed in, I think, the history of the Evo being out. Maybe once or twice, and it's only ever been buffed, but I feel like the Evo Goblin Cage is so pressing against beatdown players, specifically, sometimes even Hog Rider players. Like, every other Goblin Cage is being like a free get-out-of-jail-free card against, like, a Golem, a Hog Rider, a Giant, a Goblin Giant. Like, you can't push into it unless you can spell it away, but then a literal mini P.E.K.K.A. comes out of it and just beats your cards up like crazy. So I think I'll put the Evo Cage in the A tier too. Really underrated. I know a lot of you guys may not agree, but I definitely think that the Evo Cage is up there in the rankings for sure. Probably maybe a bit worse than Mortar. Evo Barrel, man. Evo Barrel did get a pretty big nerf in recent time, although I feel like I'd be kind of biased to act like it's not really, really strong. Just in general, it might, like, Logbait may not be the greatest deck in the meta. I feel like it was really strong in the early season, but now it's kind of falling down a bit. I still feel like that it's an A tier evolution, and anything else would be kind of lying. It's just really solid. It applies so much pressure, and I feel like it's a staple of bait decks. No bait deck without Evo Barrel works right now. We have the Evo Goblin Giant, man. This card is so stupid, because just a few seasons ago, I thought that the Evo Goblin Giant was so mid, and now that this P.E.K.K.A. Goblin Giant, these Goblin Giant Witch Machine decks, paired up with the Evo Baby Dragon, all that kind of stuff, man, this is probably top 3 Evos in the game, man. This one needs an emergency nerf, man. All of the Evos in S so far could use an emergency nerf. Now we have the Evo Battle Ram. I'm not the biggest enjoyer of the Evo Ram, just because I feel like there's a lot of counters to it. Like, Vine Spell just renders the Evo Ram kind of useless. You may as well just have the regular one. I feel like it's about average. Maybe a bit better. Nah, probably a bit worse than the Barbarians, to be honest. Like, it's a staple of decks. That's why maybe you see the Evo Battle Ram a little bit more than, say, some of these other evolutions. But that's just because you need Evo Battle Ram and Bridge Spam decks. You just have no other choice, sadly. Now Evo Bats. Evo Bats are just kind of another victim of just being, like, overshadowed. Like, why would you use Evo Bats when you could just use minions, which don't have an evolution slot, and they're 10 times better, kind of like the Goblin Drill? Like, they're just worse than the counterpart when you don't even need to use the Evo slot. So I would honestly put them F tier right now. I love them, so I want to put them D tier. But in this meta specifically, there is zero reason to use the Evo Bats. Now we have Evo Recruits, probably my most hated card in the game of all time. Actually, definitely my most hated card of all time. These are definitely A tier, though. Like, they're really strong right now, even in a meta where you would think they shouldn't be strong. A lot of people are playing with them on mid ladder, on top ladder. They're just going to dominate the game as a whole. I'll put them in the A tier, probably above the Evo Mortar. Evo Snowball, man. Ever since this card got buffed, dude, it's just been a top 3 Evo in the game, and I don't think that changed this season. It might not be top 3, could be top 5, but Evo Snowball is definitely one of the best evolutions in the game for sure. Staple of Goblin Drill. Really broken on not only defense, but also offense. Evo Archers. Evo Archers fell off because of the Vine Spell, man. Once again, dude, they're just not that great. They also received a pretty big nerf a month or 2 months ago, which kind of made them worse. And then I feel like the Vine Spell was the final nail in the coffin. I almost never face 3.0 Expo anymore. I feel like it's kind of sad what happened to the Evo Archers, man. The Vine Spell just, like, knocked them out of the meta. I feel like it was, like, the finishing blow. I'll put them in the B. Nah, I'll put them C tier, honestly. I feel like they're right up here with these cards. Now we have the Evo P.E.K.K.A. Evo P.E.K.K.A. is so broken right now, too. I do feel like that the Evo P.E.K.K.A.'s strength is backboned off of the Royal Chef Tower. I would love to see an Evo P.E.K.K.A. nerf. I just think that it's a little bit too strong right now. Could get toned down a little bit. I'll put it in the A tier. Maybe a bit better than the Evo Goblin Barrel, but worse than the Evo Mortar. Evo Valkyrie. This was the other Evo that I was saying might be the most underrated of all time. Like, it's right up there with the Goblin Cage in terms of being underrated. It's just so good in decks like Lava Hound. It's like a staple of these beatdown decks that get away with it. Also Logbait as well. Evo Valkyrie is really good in the Hypno deck and stuff like that. It's kind of like a get out of jail free, just like the Evo Cage. Where, like, every time you have the Evo Valk in hand, your opponent just knows they're going to have to throw Elixir into a Void or take a really big negative trade on that push. So I'm going to put it in the A tier. Probably better than the P.E.K.K.A, honestly. Actually, better than... I'd say it's the top of the A tier. It's just so underrated. So strong. A staple of Lava Hound currently. And I would honestly say that the Evo Valk could catch a nerf, if I'm being completely honest. Evo Mega Knight. Evo Mega Knight's good, but not this season. I feel like if it was any other season, I would put Mega Knight in the A tier or the B tier, but... Nah, I can't put it below the B tier, man. I think it has to be minimum B tier. But if it's a different season, I feel like it can be the A tier. I know a lot of you guys may disagree with that, man. Just because, you know, Mega Knight, nobody likes Mega Knight, nobody's a fan of it. But I do feel like it is just not in the greatest spot right now in the meta. Evo Wall Breakers, dude. Evo Wall Breakers are so annoying. I've gotten rolled by Evo Wall Breakers. I don't even know how many times, man. They're so good on offense and defense. They're like a running fireball, and then on top of being like a running fireball, they're just so hard to defend. They always bail people out on defense when they're trying to defend a big push. Definitely A tier. Could make the argument of S tier, but I think I'll put them at the very top of A tier, just right above the Valkyrie. And here we have, guys, the Evo Cannon. Once again, ever since release, this card has just been ridiculously overpowered, and I have been saying that the Evo Cannon has needed a nerf for months now. I think it's coming up on a year now that I think Evo Cannon has needed nerfs, and it got one, but for some reason it never got touched again, and it's been like the staple of cycle decks ever since release. Definitely S tier, maybe a bit worse than the Evo Snowball, but definitely just up there in the big five of Clash Royale. Evo E-Drag, dude, this card sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Evo E-Drag in this meta is just like hitting your head on a wall, man. Like, it's not going to get any value. It's not even going to shoot before it dies. With Vine Spell yanking it down, it just does nothing. Like, I've been using it, guys, practicing for CRL, and it does, like, actually nothing every time. I would just put this F tier as well. Loki maybe a little bit better than the Evo Drill, but worse than the Evo Zap. Evo Dark Goblin. Evo Dart's good. I feel like it's suffering the same consequence that the Evo Archers are suffering, just of the Vine Spell just being absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that it could be in the B tier because I feel like it's just a worse than Firecracker. I also think that like you'd rather the regular Dark Goblin than the Evo right now, but that's mainly just because of the meta. I feel like they just C tier, maybe a bit better than the Evo Archers in the Battle Ram, but like just not that great, to be honest. I think I'll put these above, honestly. Yeah, I think like that. Evo Musketeer, actually one of my favorite evolutions. I feel like the Evo Musketeer is so much fun to use. I love the mind game factors as well, you know, with predictions on buildings, sniping down air units, you know what I mean, sniping down big tanks and stuff like that. I think just for the mind game factor, you have to put it in at least B tier, but I do feel like it's better than everything in the B tier by a pretty decent margin, although I don't think it's really better than the stuff in the A tier. I think I'll put it at the very top of B. I love this evolution, man, and I'm glad it's finally seeing some love. It's so fun to use. Evo Bomber. Dude, Evo Bomber, what it once was, man. It used to be so broken. It used to be like a top 3 Evo. Arguably the best evolution of all time as well. But it's just not really that great right now. I just don't see much of a reason to use it anymore. I'd say that it's about average, probably on the level of the Skellies, the Dark Goblin and stuff. Like, these are just Evos that you use when you don't really have any other options, and maybe your deck kind of needs it. I'll just put it, like, right here, honestly. Not the biggest fan of Bomb right now. Evo Ice Spirit, it's also broken, man. I would just put the Evo Ice Spirit right up into the S tier. One thing you guys may be seeing is that I feel like there's a lot of evolutions on the above average side than the below average side right now. I do feel like the evolutions as a whole are a little bit too strong. Evo Hunter. Evo Hunter kind of fell off. I wouldn't even say because of the nerf it got. It got like a small nerf and it was still kind of good, but right now there's just so many better options. Like, there's Witch, there's Wizard, you know, Vine Spell kind of rolls it. There's Inferno Dragons, Xyz. I would just put right next to the Wizard. Maybe a little bit worse right now just because of Furnace. Evo Hunter does nothing against the Furnace because the Furnace Fire Spirits actually jump on the Hunter before it gets a shot off, so it's just completely useless against a lot of the meta. Evo Lumberjack. Evo Lumberjack is solid. I don't think that it's really too great right now because of the nerfs that it got to, like, the nerfs that it got to the form of the Ghost. But it was really strong in some Giant decks, but because it doesn't really work in Goblin Giant, you don't really see the Lumberjack Evo anymore. I would say it's still good, but it's not good in the meta. I'd say it's C tier as well, just like average, you know what I mean? Probably a bit better than some of the Dark Goblins and Barbs, stuff like that, but not too great. Evo Xyz, sadly, Evo Xyz is just, it's just average. Nah, I'd put it B tier. Maybe a bit worse than the Firecracker. It's nice in Bridge Spam and Balloon, maybe a Hog Rider deck, but not much else. There's usually better options, but if your deck is good with it, it's really good. Evo Skelly Barrel. I love the Evo Skelly Barrel. Probably one of my top 5 favorite evolutions. I feel like it's pretty strong. I think that the Evo Skelly Barrel could get maybe a little bit of a nerf, to be honest. Maybe that sounds kind of crazy, but I feel like when your opponent's deck doesn't have anything for the Skelly Barrel, sometimes it can like secure you free wins and stuff like that. I would say it's definitely A tier, better than the Goblin Barrel and the Mortar, but maybe not better than the Recruits. I love this card, man. W Evo Skelly Barrel. Evo Witch, dude. Evo Witch was the biggest winner out of the Vines meta. Vines sucks against the Evo Witch. I would say Evo Witch is probably the second best Evo in the game, and I'm right behind the Baby Dragon. It's so solid. Nobody even really talks about it as a top evolution right now. I do feel like that the Evo Witch could get a nerf. I do think that it heals too much. It survives spells too easily just because of how much healing the skeletons actually give. Please, Clash Royale, nerf this card. It's ruining the game. Evo Furnace. Dude, I think the Furnace Evo nerf got a pretty big effect on the Evo Furnace, but the Furnace in general is just so strong, which also just makes the Evo solid because you're just getting a good form of the card every single time. I would say it's the top of A tier. I would say that like all of these up here need a nerf, and then like these 3 also probably need a nerf. Maybe can include the 4. I just don't think that it's on that S tier level. I think we would just have too many S. And now we have the Evo Inferno Dragon, guys. If it was any other season, dude, I would put this in the A to S tier. But just because Goblin Hut's really popular, Witch is really popular, Vine's really popular, it knocks the Inferno Dragon a lot. I would put it right under the Goblin Barrel. It's really solid, just not in the meta. Well, guys, that will be my entire card evolution tier list. Thank you all for watching. You know, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And once again, please comment down below how you feel about my ideas. Maybe I could debate a little bit in the comments. You know, I'm just curious to see how you guys feel. Maybe I could get another perspective on it. And if you guys agree or disagree, please let me know why you disagree. Because whenever someone's like, oh, this ranking sucked, or how do you have this card here? What are you thinking? Like, please let me know why. Then maybe I could have a nice debate with you guys. Anyways, I love you guys. Have a great night. Have a great day. And I'll see you all in the next video.